Hello, my name is Craig, and I'm here to read to you today one of my favorite stories from childhood. It's called Garth Pig and the Ice Cream Lady by Mary Rayner. So let's get started. Garth Pig and the Ice Cream Lady by Mary Rayner. One very hot day, Mother Pig was washing the kitchen floor. The 10 piglets called Sorrel and Bryony and Hilary and Sarah and Cindy and Toby and Alan and William and Benjamin and Garth Pig were outside playing in the garden. They made a fort and it had been very hard work. They were all tired and thirsty when drifting across the neighboring gardens they heard a faint ting-tong, tingle-tong. Dropping their guns and bows and arrows all over the grass, they ran squealing into the house to ask Mother Pig for ice cream money. "Mind the floor," Mrs. Pig cried. She searched for her handbag to find coins. "All right, though it costs so much. Now don't all run to the road. One of you go and bring the ice cream for the others." "Your turn," said Toby to Alan. "I got the arrows. It's William's turn," said Alan. "Don't argue, or you'll miss the truck," said Mrs. Pig. "Quick," said William. "Stand in a circle, everyone." And they began to count round. "Ham, bacon, pork, chop, out you must hop." Mrs. Pig held up her trotters in horror and turned away with her eyes. Goodness me, where do they pick up such words? I am sure they have never heard them in this house. But none of the piglets were listening. Round and round they counted until only Garth was left. With the money clenched tight in his trotter, Garth ran as fast as he could out of the house. "10 wishes," they called out after him. The truck was parked down the road. It was a pink and brown Volkswagen, and written across the side in fat curly letters was Lupino's Ice Cream. The window slid open, a paw appeared over the counter, and a face smiled fondly down at Garth. Garth was counting the money to see what would be left after 9 wishes. He was hoping there might be enough over for a double cone with chocolate flakes on top for himself. 9 wishes, he said, and "Why don't you come up into the truck, my dear," said the ice cream lady, "and see what's in the freezer?" Garth trotted up the step and into the truck. As he leaned over the freezer, the ice cream lady closed the door and slipped behind the driving wheel. The truck began to move. It lurched off up the road, carrying Garth Pig with it. Meanwhile, in the back of the garden, the 9 piglets were lying about on the grass, waiting for their ice cream. "He is being a long time," said Sarah Pig. "Probably dropped them," said William unkindly. "Silly little pig," said Alan. "Maybe he's eating them," said Toby. The piglets looked at each other. It was a worrying thought. "Better go and see," said Hilary. They streamed in through the back door. Mrs. Pig almost finished scrubbing. "Mind the floor," she said. "But, Mum, we're in a hurry," said Sorrel, as they ran past out the front door and into the road. There was no Garth, no truck either, just a few blobs of ice cream and a trail on the road. The piglets stood open-mouthed. "He's been taken," said Sorrel. "Come on, everyone, the bicycle." Together they ran to the garage. Leaping onto the bicycle, they swung out into the road and pedaled along the ice cream trail. But they had not gone far when they came to a crossroads. There the spots of ice cream pettered out. The piglets came to a stop. "Have you seen an ice cream truck that goes ting-tong, tingle-tong?" they asked a passerby. "No," she answered, "but one did go by which was going snort, squeal, grunt, grunt." It went that way, and she pointed. Far ahead, the ice cream truck had crossed the bridge and was climbing the long, steep hill the other side, heading for the forest. Inside the truck, the driver was singing softly to herself. "Fried or boiled, baked or roast, or minced with mushrooms on toast." Garth Pig heard. It was not a song about ice cream. The road climbed up and up. The truck was going slower and slower, and the ice cream lady stopped singing. There was a nasty smell of burning, and the engine was making an odd, uneven chugging. Then it stopped. The ice cream lady left her seat and got out to look, but she locked the door behind her. Trapped inside, Garth Pig stood on tiptoe and pressed his snout to the window. It was very hot in the truck. He peered with his little pig eyes down the steep grassy slope of the hill, and far, far away at the bottom, and tiny in the distance, he saw the family bicycle rolling bravely up the road. Then he caught sight of the ice cream lady coming back around the door. He held his breath and ducked down. Now or never, he thought, watching the door handle turn. As the door opened, he bolted past her, dodged around the truck, and with a piercing squeal flung himself from the hillside. Down the steep slope he rolled, as round and as smooth as a barrel, gathering speed as he went. The other 9 piglets heard the squeal and saw him bowling towards them. Nearer and nearer he came. Shot passed down, and with a huge bounce came to rest in some bushes near the bottom of the hill. With one accord, his brothers and sisters dropped the bicycle and ran back down after him. William picked him out of the prickles, and the others gathered round. He was sobbing. "It's not an ice cream lady, it's—" when they heard a terrible howl. The bicycle streaked down the hill, a frantic figure clinging to the handlebars. Not to be so easily outdone, the ice cream lady had snatched up their bike, but she had reckoned without one thing. That bike was made for 10 piglets, not one lone wolf. It hurtled past them, 9 pairs of empty pedals spinning crazily, the 10th held rigidly by 2 hairy feet. She swerved round the bend at the bottom and hit the parapet of the bridge. A dark shape sailed over the handlebars and with a tremendous splash into the river. The piglets looked at the water. There was no sign of anyone. They looked up the hill to where the truck still stood. "We still haven't had our wishes," said Sorrel. They scampered up the hill, Garth trailing after them. "Don't want a wish, want a double cone," he whimpered. Sorrel opened the truck door and went to the freezer. She handed out 9 wishes, but when it came to Garth, she paused. "Here," she said, "there was enough money. I know there was." She scooped out 2 gloriously overflowing cones and putting a fat chocolate flake in each, gave it to him. Then they all ran down the hill, picked up the bicycle, straightened the handlebars, and rode home. Next morning, the truck was gone from the hilltop, but Madame Lupino was not heard of again for a very long time. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the story.